a decent upbringing for my daughter, even though me and her father would never be able to be together. I wanted to provide her with some sense of stability. I never wanted to be that mom that walked away, and I didn't walk away. I merely needed to stop and really realize what was going on within me. And unfortunately, I should have thought about all this before you came into play. But yet, you wouldn't be the strong person that you are, and the motivated individual, and the amazing woman that you've become. And like I said, for your graduation, and I was so proud of you. I left my husband because me and him butted heads. But this time, my daughter was 2 years old. I was paranoid. Every time somebody would say something, I would automatically think that it was about me. So I learned how to speak Spanish very, very quickly. I was very violent. I hung out with the gangs. I was always ready to stare and kick somebody's ass. I hated the world. I didn't care. Then I got pregnant with my second daughter. 8 months pregnant. What do? Decide I can't take it anymore. Pack up and run to Philadelphia. What's in Philadelphia, you ask? Glad you asked that question. I ran off to be with Bozo the Clown from the Dink Tank. Yes, you heard me correctly. I said that I ran off 8 months pregnant with another guy's baby, my husband's baby, to chase after Bozo the Clown, the heckler, and the duck tank. Welcome to a special kind of someone. And guess what? This was before my addiction. How about that? I was sober during this. I ended up going back to my husband because I didn't want to, have my baby out in the carnival. I didn't really want to, be homeless. And my mom had given me an ultimatum that if I didn't go back, that she was going to have my husband go pick up my daughter, and I'd never see her again. I was on a bus back to Pennsylvania, where my mom was that night. I ended up having my daughter, Kira, and I just turned 22. And I became really, really ill. Feverish all the time, delusional, it triggered all of the old memories, all of the fear of abandonment. I developed extreme postpartum depression, and like I said, I became septic almost. So, my sister-in-law, she helped out with Kara while I was in and out of, the hospital to figure out what was going on with me. And I was resting because I knew that I was too weak to be able to do everything I needed to do. My daughter was with me for a week. And it became a constant battle between me and my ex. Every day we were fighting. His dad was inappropriate. I told you guys about how he was raped and beaten and abused and battered. His father thought that I was a porn star because I had blonde hair and blue eyes. Apparently that's the only type of porn they watch over in Central America. Go figure. Well, I walked up to the liquor store in order to retrieve a phone card for him to call his mother over in El Salvador. I see a gentleman who was surrounded by 5 very beautiful women who seemed very, reputable and just very beautiful. They carried themselves in such a manner that, me being myself, I looked at him and I said, "Sir, I just want to say to you that you must have a lot of great qualities to be surrounded by such beauty." He handed me a card and told me if I ever was interested in a job that he was a manager and that I would be, something that would be very influential in the industry that he worked with. And he had told me that, he was working with dancers and he managed them. Okay. Now, for a naive country girl, this means that this guy's gonna find me places where I can dance to make money, and then I give him a percentage of the money that I make from dancing. It went left field for me on that one. He was a pimp. The first night that we went riding around, he took me to several different locations. The last place was a little just dive in the middle of Hyattsville, Maryland. But it was a quaint little place. I liked the bartender. She became my best friend and the mom that I never had. And she also saved my life. See, when you sign up to become with a pimp and you look them in the eye, they own you. You can't walk away from that. And if you do, you've got wounds and scars that are proof of why you shouldn't cross people like that. Fortunately, I was able to escape it from that time because it was a misunderstanding that I didn't really understand what was going on. After I was accepted to dance in this place called Mustangs, I would meet the man who turned my life around and upside down. I fell in love with a married man. We started hanging out, smoke pot, talk, do great things. I told you that I was in group homes all my life. My husband didn't take me out on dates. Matt took me so many places. So many amazing places. Well, for several years, I believed that me and Matt were going to be together, that he was going to end up leaving his wife. One day he made it apparent that he wasn't. We were supposed to go see a concert together. I had already bought his tickets. And he decided that he no longer wanted to see me. It shattered me. By this time I was working at a bar that his friend's mom was the manager at, called Three Captains. I was already smoking pot, but the pot calmed me down. So I was like, what the hell? The girls were doing bumps in the bathroom. Hey, can I get one of those? You got $10? Just made $10 sitting down with the old dude. Here, it's yours. Let me try that. Wow. Yeah. It sobers you right up. Okay, I actually kind of enjoy this. The only problem is I don't like snorting it because I've got sinus problems. Okay, well, this is the first time we tried it. This led to me starting to smoke crack. I ended up wanting to be myself, and I had met a friend, or so I thought was my friend. Basically, he was my enabler. He would provide all the crack that I wanted. Very successful businessman. Anything that my heart desired, he would give to me. All I had to take was the abuse, the torment, the taunting things that every time that I would go out, and the reason why I was going out was because I wanted to sleep with somebody, blah, blah, blah. I was a worthless whore, etc., etc. I'd never be anything. So it became much easier to just sit in front of the computer screen, smoking that crack pipe. Became my life. When I wasn't smoking crack, I was sleeping. Whenever I wasn't sleeping, I was smoking crack. I remember one day coming home so fucked up and so excited because I had pot, a shitload of cash, and a shitload of coke in my fucking wallet. Just getting off. My fucking drunk ass, stumbling. I walk out in front of a car. Car barely comes to a stop. before almost hitting me. I beat my fist off his head and I said, I'm fucking glad you stopped because I hope you have a good insurance because if you would have hit me, I'd have sued your fucking ass. The dude could do nothing but shake his head. If I was an asshole enough with that, I go stumbling in the front yard where the front yard has a pool in it, a little kiddie pool. I'm still cursing out this gentleman who did nothing wrong other than drive down the road to get to his house. While I get stuck with the factor of falling in the pool and almost drowning because I'm still cussing out the guy and not realizing it. And to top it off, I get inside and they tell me that I could dry my Coke out, I could dry my pot out, I could dry my money out by putting it in a microwave for a little bit. And I'm like, how long's a little bit? They're like, a couple of minutes. So I literally put paper, pot, and fucking Coke in the microwave to dry. Now, we all know, powder does what when it hits water? Evaporates. You can't dry up water and turn it back into powder if the powder's already absorbed into the water. Yeah. So, I caught the money in the pot and the cellophane that the Coke was in on fire in the microwave. I should have known that I wasn't a good drug addict back then, because shit just kept on going wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. But all I wanted was to die. I didn't belong anywhere. I don't fit anywhere. Now, I finally feel I belong somewhere. I finally feel like I found a family. And I finally established a home. That's what my goal has been this whole time. So while people have tried to put me down and push me away from what I've been doing, it's very hard for me to continue to maintain these positive thoughts after going through as many things that I've been through. I admit that I'm a prostitute. I admit that I have no problems with being a prostitute simply for the fact that what is sex supposed to be, my understanding of it has not been anything pleasant. Sex is a mind game. I was a prostitute. I was taught manipulation. I've done what I had to do to get by, to survive. I got clean in the sense of stop using crack and stay away from medicines, because literally I'm not shy within the community. Like I said, I have my own individual therapy plan that I follow by, that works for me. It's not the best thing, and a lot of people don't agree with it. It's what I love about promoting recovery. I don't stare and try to be hypocritical and preach something that I can't abide by myself. I'm not two-faced, and I'm not going to hide the fact that I have to rely on an answer to save my ass on a daily basis. Okay? I do believe that medicinal is very, very helpful for people like me. Do I want to have to rely on something to make me be able to function normally? No. And a lot of you guys say, well, you can do it. You can do it. Just follow the good old book of what? NA or AA? I follow the rules. But I also have to add rules to it because just like everything in life, it's not sugar-coated. It's not black and white. It's a very shady area. When your own worst enemy is yourself, and at any given time, you could be forced within a situation where your mortal enemy takes over and she hurts you severely bad and she kills you because she realizes that you guys can't live together and coexist. Welcome to my world within my head. A constant nagging voice that I used to think was my subconscious telling me that I didn't belong, that I didn't deserve to be here, that I was an accident, that I would never amount to anything. Now look, I'm 55 minutes into my story. I provide people with a voice that can no longer speak. I share my story and what I've learned with amazing men and women within a community that is so wonderful in so many different aspects, yet so deceitful in so many others. This is why I'm grateful to finally be able to call Operation Clean Recovery.com and RecoveryNation.space as Commander Mander's official home. And the people know who has been reached out to and have been branched out to. They are my family. They are unconditional. And for those of you that want to stare and check it out, I highly encourage you to do so. Because there's going to be more videos like this one being hosted and placed there. It's about time we took recovery to the next level. I campaigned that this year was the year we were going to make a change, we were going to make strides, and we were going to make things so much harder for Pharma to be preying amongst us again. Well, here's the next step to it. You're not going to silence me. Especially, you're not going to silence other people. You're not on a format where it's robots that answer to you. You're on an actual safe format where you don't have to be afraid to say what you're feeling and what you're going through. And you don't have to be afraid to call out people on the exposure and the lies if you feel as if you need closure from certain things. Because, like everybody says, you can hold things in for so long, but you're not going to be capable of holding them in before you either harm yourself or your whole world comes crashing down. And unfortunately, here lately, a lot of people's egos have gotten in the way, and they've shied away from what the original point in this is. Our community's taking a lot of critical hits because we're having assholes being exposed for the assholes that they are. We're having a lot of trust issues amongst each other. Why? Because of the fact that we can't stand and speak our own minds without having somebody chastise us. Well, guess what? I'm not about the bullshit. I'm about saving lives. My Uncle Tim, you've seen what this man does. He's not about the bullshit. He's about saving lives. My Uncle Mike, he's not about the bullshit. He's about saving lives. My Alicia, she's not about the bullshit. She's about saving lives. Me, not about the bullshit. I'm about saving lives and helping people. The people that I surround myself with, the same way. So let me explain something to you. If you think for a minute that you're going to be able to silence me, you forget. You can't stop something that's hell-bent on exposing this opioid excuse me, this opioid war for what it really is. And I'm not going to stop until I do allow people to see that we do recover. And granted, I might not have, had the same addiction as everybody else. However, let me tell you the reason why I can start and campaign on opioids as much as I can. For me to come out in the community a couple of years ago, I received a Facebook message from my godmother. They adopted a child. She was 19 years old at the time. And she was an addict. She's been an addict since she was 12 years old. She's admitted to it. I had to study. I had to ask questions. I had to find out what was going on. I had to go up to help this little girl because she was so lost. And I tried. Man, did I try. Did I try to get through to her. I don't want her to end up like me. She doesn't need to. She doesn't know how much I miss her. I won't tell her. Never. Because why let people know? When they don't care. My dad, I feel like secretly the reason why he talks to me is because I'm his daughter. And he resents the fact that he made me, but he he has to go with the punches. He has to just chuck it and bear it. I'm broken. My pieces can't be mended. But I'm slowly pulling myself back together. Do I still want to die? I want to be with my mom. I do. I don't want to fight anymore. But you know what? I'm going to continue to fight. I'm going to continue to fight on behalf of Nick Ryans, Todd Ellis, BJ Ellis, Sage Capote, for people like me that aren't fortunate enough to be here to make videos like this. Because unfortunately, their story wasn't a success story. Instead, they leave behind people who sit in sorrow and pain as a result of this addiction. So, the next time you want to sit and call somebody a junkie, or you want to tell somebody that addiction's a choice, I didn't choose this life. And if you think that I chose everything that occurred, I'm gonna pray for you. Because I didn't deserve to have half of the things that happened to me happen. But guess what?